I think we're good to get started. I think so. So, we just finished with UFC 281. It was Adesanya versus Alexander Pereira, sorry. And Pereira just won again. This is the third time Pereira has beat Adesanya. This is the second time he has finished Adesanya. So, yeah, I've been a UFC fan for a long time. If you guys are in here, please like, comment, subscribe, leave something in the chat. And if you're watching this in the future, hi. On those culture, I usually go over hip hop stuff. Sometimes I do content over MMA or I guess pop culture, Marvel related culture, typically. But yeah, let's talk about the fights. So Adesanya, it looked like Adesanya was doing really well. I've not looked at any of the stats yet or anything like that. The overall stats show, it does show Alexander, or Alex, I don't know if his full name is Alexander, no, I'm just going to say Alex. So Alex had 140 strikes, 65% accuracy, which is good accuracy against Adesanya. Adesanya, 119, 57%. Alex had one takedown. Takedown was pretty obvious early on, and Alex had slightly more significant strikes. Round one, clearly for Izzy, you can't really tell by the stats here. Round two was a dominant round by Alex, a very dominant round. It kind of told the tale of how Alex could beat Izzy in this fight. Me personally, I did karate for like 10 years. I actually have where is it? 1 second. Can you see it? Oh, a little bit. In the very back corner right there, I actually have a degree, a black belt degree. I did martial arts for like a little bit over 10 years. I started around when I was 10. I got my black belt around the time I was 18. They didn't like giving black belts to anyone that was under adult, so I feel like I have a decent base of knowledge when it comes to striking, at least compared to the average fan. So, and I've been watching for a long time. When I saw the first fight of them two, I did think Izzy won, like he said. Close fight though. Second fight, I did think Izzy was doing well up until he got finished. And he got finished kind of devastatingly with really thick gloves. It was a long time ago. He was a lot younger, and they were both doing kickboxing alone at the time. It was a different sport. However, in MMA, it is a combination of all of these sports. So if your main style is kickboxing, you may morph that in, to something else, but that does not necessarily mean that you are going to only use that skill set. But I do think you're primarily going to use it, and I think watching how these two have fought in their MMA career, they've fought to avoid the takedown, to stop you from taking them down. So that's kind of what happened in this fight. Like they kind of just kickboxed. There was a little bit of clinch work, more clinch work than you would see in kickboxing, stuff like that. There was a couple like full fight, one takedown each. Well, one of four Izzy. I don't even know. I don't think they were like hard shots. It didn't look like he was hard shooting for all of them. But it definitely did look like he was trying to get him down towards the later rounds. Towards the later rounds, it looked like he was struggling a little bit and trying to clinch more. He did more of his actual shooting in like the second round, where he actually went straight down to go for a double leg against the cage, which I don't think he necessarily had that. I was watching the morning combat stream live while they were doing it, and Luke said the same thing. He said it seemed like Izzy needed to work on a couple more things before he could get that takedown. But Alex finished him in the last round devastatingly. I loved that finish. I kind of feel bad for Izzy because it looked like Izzy was trying to fight, but he wasn't there. If you look at his eyes and you look at the way he was trying to avoid the strikes, it looked like he was kind of doing the Anderson Silva thing, but he wasn't looking at his opponent at all. You can't just feel where punches are coming from. People can say that, but you need to have some other sense on it. It's not just this sense of, oh, I feel the air coming towards me, I have locomotion skills. It's not like that. When he says that, he can feel the energy of what they may do, but if you watch how this fight went, Alex Pereira fights completely different than everyone else that Izzy has fought. It's not just that he's a kickboxer, it's the style of kickboxing that he uses versus Izzy. Izzy is a a lot more so a point fighter. Alex Pereira is a finisher. Alex Pereira is someone that is trying to get you against the cage or ring corner, and he's trying to tee off on you. Izzy very oftentimes goes against the cage. He goes against the cage and he avoids getting struck by people. And if you watch his feet, he goes really, really wide. When he takes the steps to go in and outside the circle, to go outside of his opponents all the time, where he usually gets out that he couldn't get out in this situation, he goes extraordinarily wide, where his feet are almost against the cage. You can't do that against someone else that is extremely high level striking and is also someone that's going to pressure you. Why? Okay, as soon as Izzy, he starts doing this, then he goes wide with the left foot because he's going to start diving that way, but he points his head at the right direction. Alex Pereira isn't watching his head movement alone. Alex Pereira, in striking, you usually watch the triangle. A lot of fighters talk about this too. However, the way Alex Pereira advances and closes distance, when he watches Izzy expand his stance like that, Alex knows that he can expand his stance. And he knows the direction that he's probably going to go by watching that triangle. When you watch that triangle, the way his shoulders are moving and the way the bottom of his hips are moving. So when he starts turning, that's exactly when he would start moving in on Izzy. Over and over again, when Izzy would try to circle out how he normally does, that's when Alex would close distance, but with strikes. It's not that he's just closing distance. He's closing distance with strikes, and his strikes are devastating. If you look at just his jab has crazy power. Izzy was talking about his jab in all of the interviews leading up to this. Like this, I don't know. I think Alex is the kryptonite for Izzy, but I think Robert Whitaker was doing the Birdman hands when he's watching this, because Robert Whitaker is going to smash Alex, according to what I see. What I see, it looks like Alex doesn't have a complete game. When Izzy got him down and Alex was on his face, Izzy had his back, he had wrist control. He grabbed his wrist with his left hand and he crossed Alex's body this way. Alex's head was against the cage, or against the mat here. So when he's holding that hand and he's pinning him against the mat, I don't think that Whitaker would let him up, and I think Whitaker would do way more damage. Alex got saved by the bell. I believe it was the third round. Third round, Alex got saved by the bell. He got teed off on at the very end. He got rocked. You saw in his eyes he was dazed. And he got hit one more time after that with, I think it was like a shovel hook, which is kind of like an uppercut, kind of like a hook. It's kind of like in between. But that was the best moment for Adesanya. Towards the end, though, I think Pereira was like, okay, it's the fifth round. I don't have much time left. I'm just going to press forward. I'm not worried about Izzy finishing me at this point, and I know I'm behind. And dude, he he did good. He did good. And then I'm gonna talk about Carla Esparza versus Zhang Weili. They always say it different. I'm just gonna say it Zhang Weili, how it is here. And Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler. I didn't see that full fight, unfortunately. Unfortunate, very unfortunate. But Carla Esparza versus Zhang Weili. I'm not sure why anyone thought this fight would go any different than it did. Pretty much, if Carla Esparza gets Zhang Weili down, Weili might have a tough problem. However, with the strength of Zhang Weili, there's plenty of instances where there's fighters that kind of just walk up pure wrestlers. If you're a pure wrestler, you're fighting in a division, and you're not using wrestling only, and the other fighter can use jiu-jitsu and striking and other things to get up. There's plenty of times where I've seen fighters muscle up. If you look at Derek Lewis in the heavyweight division, he does that to everyone. He was doing that to DC to an extent until DC got him in a rear naked choke. Because DC is an Olympian and DC is also a jiu-jitsu fighter. But there's a ton of people like her, not necessarily like her, because she has ridiculous strength for her size. She picked up Francis Ngannou, which was 290 at the time. She fights at 125, she's probably like 140 fight night. Zhang Weili is a beast. She has to be no bigger than 140 fight night. Carla Esparza, it's not that Carla Esparza isn't a good fighter, because Carla Esparza is obviously a great fighter. She's on a pretty nice win streak. But I think her style of fighting, it isn't aggressive enough and explosive enough to deal with something like Zhang Weili. Oh, excuse me, but I don't think it's like aggressive enough to deal with Zhang Weili. Allergies. But Zhang Weili has incredible power. She's incredibly powerful striking, and not just power as far as striking, but power for her weight. So Carla holds people down. That's what Carla does. Carla is usually stronger than her opponents. She relies on her wrestling, yes, but she is far stronger than a lot of her opponents. And someone like Rose, the aggressiveness of Carla and her wrestling ability is usually able to stifle Rose. And Rose, same thing with the first fight, isn't really able to pull the trigger. I don't think it's just, oh, Rose isn't better than Carla, or, oh, Carla has the game for her. No, I just think Rose kind of freezes up against Carla because of Carla's skill set. And because she knows, hey, if I get taken down, this is going to be a hard fight for me. If you look at Carla Esparza and look at her size compared to Rose and her strength, and then look at Rose's strength to Zhang Weili, it's not even close. But look at Rose's jiu-jitsu. That's why, okay, if Zhang gets her down or something, she's able to deal with that. But I knew Carla was going to be able to deal with it. If you look at the odds were forever in Weili's favor. I think it was like 380 to 310. So that's almost a 4-1 dog. So then we have Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler. I think a lot of us knew how this fight was going to go. I think a lot of us thought that Dustin Poirier was going to probably finish Michael Chandler. I thought probably was going to finish him. I didn't get a good glimpse of what happened, but I believe in the second round is when Michael Chandler was teeing off on Dustin against the cage. I didn't see that, unfortunately. I was dealing with some stuff, but round 3, I started watching, is when I popped in, and Dustin Poirier was doing exactly what I thought he was going to do and finish Michael Chandler. I think Michael Chandler is good, but I don't think that he's going to be able to beat someone like Dustin. Why? I think everything that Michael Chandler does, Dustin does better, besides wrestling. However, I don't think Michael Chandler has the game to use his wrestling against Poirier. Poirier stops most wrestlers except for some level of potentially Islam. I don't know how it's going to go against Islam, or Khabib. Most people don't just control Dustin. He's underrated. Even though he's one of the most talked about lightweights and stuff, I still think he's highly underrated for his skill set overall. He's good at everything. He's good at absolutely everything. Really good at everything. But someone like Khabib was just able to completely take him down and stop him. But let's get back to Izzy versus Alex. So, Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira. What do I think is going to happen next? I'm not exactly sure who is... Let's see. Who is next in this division? Okay, no. Oh my god. 2,400 athletes. Okay. Yeah, Robert Whitaker. I think, well, Izzy is... Well, he just got knocked out, though. Okay, depending on how quickly Izzy can make it, depending on how quickly Pereira can make it, Robert Whitaker, I think, is going to beat Alex if they set that fight up. I think they're probably going to try to avoid that because they tried avoiding it before, and I don't think Cannonier or Vettori have the power to be able to really sell against Pereira. So I don't know if they're going to do Izzy versus Pereira or Whitaker versus Pereira, but the division is open now. If they want to set up different fights, they have all the room to. They really have all the room to. Let's see what the Twitter world is saying. Not surprised. Is anyone else surprised? Huge advocate. Wow. Give me 1 second. Let me check some. Okay. So, huge advocate of Israel Adesanya, Johnny Bones Jones. I appreciate the kind words, champ. Because Khabib said, I don't miss Adesanya's fights and actually feel like he doesn't get the credit he deserves. If he defends the title a couple more times, he'll become on the same level with John Jones. Woo! Okay, well, I don't think this tweet is necessarily fair. I think this tweet is a loaded tweet, unfortunately. Um, of course, I love Khabib. I love Adesanya. But Adesanya went up and fought Jan Blachowicz. Jan Blachowicz has lost a couple times in light heavyweight. I'm not saying he's not good. He's great. He's a great champion. However, he's lost a couple times. Adesanya goes up to 205 and loses against him. Jan Blachowicz is not John Jones. I'm sorry. They are not necessarily the same fighter. So, Adesanya dances on Bones' grave a lot. So, Bones is just returning the favor. I don't think anyone could be very surprised by this. You guys know how John Jones is. Johnny Bones Jones taunting. And Khabib doesn't really necessarily like John Jones that much because of what John Jones does. You could tell, especially if you watch MMA, you know the things that Khabib does and does not like. You have a feel for it. He even talks about he doesn't like the lifestyle that Mike Tyson lives or talks about anymore and stuff like that, and how he acts on his podcast. Khabib has talked about this. So I think that's a loaded tweet. But let's continue. What a sad night, man. Ngannou. I agree. Yep. Don't book Pereira against a high-level grappler. That may be an issue for him after watching round 3. Look, this is just Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker with the Birdman hands. Robert Whittaker. Dude, Robert Whittaker is a nightmare matchup for him. I think Robert Whittaker is the worst matchup at that division. Marvin Vettori is also a horrible matchup. Like, I don't know for sure. Marvin Vettori stands and bangs with you sometime, but if Marvin Vettori goes after you with that wrestling, good luck. And he's stupid aggressive. And he has crazy cardio. Marvin Vettori wants this. I think a lot of people think that the fight could have went on a little bit longer because in MMA a lot of people get like finished real hardcore. But I think what the ref was watching was Izzy was dwindling in his ability to defend himself, and then when he started looking down at the ground, it seemed like he was kind of out, but his warrior spirit isn't letting him stop. That makes sense. So his heart isn't letting him stop. His mind isn't there to really continue, but his body is still up enough to not fall. And the ref was like, I don't want to watch this get worse. Especially, honestly, Alex Pereira hit so hard. He hit so hard. If he would have hit a crazy clean shot, that would have been problems. 220. This is great. This guy just followed me. I love this. I need a picture like this, bro. I need a picture like this. That's great. But let's see. Alex Pereira TKOs Izzy in the 5th. He's the new middleweight champion. Sorry, I thought it could have been let go, but that's the sport. Wasn't a bad stoppage. Could be my bias. Hats off to Pereira, but Izzy's going to be back for the rematch. There's no quitting that man. The class after the fight is why he became champion. Look, Vettori. Oh, he wants Adesanya. Oh man, Vettori's a demon. I think it's because Vettori is like, okay, either Whittaker or Adesanya is going to get the rematch. So let me go for the next best thing. Makes sense. I want to see that. Oh my god, Bo Nickal's at 185. Oh, Bo Nickal might be able to beat Pereira. Not immediately, but Bo Nickal is going to be a problem at this division. There's no grapplers on 185. no wrestlers like that. I mean, Robert Whitaker and Vettori, but they're not wrestlers like that. If they can skip, if Bo Nickal can do the easy pass lane and avoid anyone that is going to wrestle, don't fight Kelvin Gastelum. Don't fight Kelvin Gastelum with his jiu-jitsu and wrestling. That's a terrible matchup. But there, Bo Nickal. Oh my god. Get out of here, Paige. Khamzat is a terrible matchup for Alex too. Oh my gosh. I don't understand people that like shit tweet. This is like, how soon until McGregor starts drunk tweeting? He probably had the most pathetic UFC career of all time. He would finish you. He is literally an Olympian. He's an Olympian and he's a multiple not division champion, but he's a multiple promotional champion, whatever. He's been a champion of all the promotions except for the UFC. Well, yeah, Bellator. And he was smashing their champions for a long time. Like, all the people that became champion, he smashed those people. This dude's ridiculous. He would literally ride his face. And people like this, look at this. Loser. Dana posted it. Look at this. Fights, dude. That's like Brock Lesnar level. That's Brock Lesnar stuff. Like, there's not a lot of people that do this. The reason why you come in, you're able to do it in 4 fights. You're never able to jump into the UFC and get a title off of 4 fights unless you either have a mega name, or B, you are like some kind of superstar in a specific sport that has allowed you to somehow get to the top quickly. Usually maybe one top 5. What they do, one unranked fighter, maybe 2 unranked fighters, then they'll give you a top 15, a top 5 title. Or not even like that. They'll do unranked, top 15, top 5, the best top 5 for your skill set. Sean Strickland, because Sean Strickland is a great wrestler and great jiu-jitsu, but he's a wild man. But Sean Strickland, and then title shot with Izzy. That's how they do it. Or Brock Lesnar, he fought Frank Mir's first fight, lost, and then 3 more. Title. Randy Couture. You win some, you lose some, just part of this dangerous game. We play, no regrets. That's the truth. Carla Esparza, she fights very hard. I don't think her skill set is necessarily what it needs to be able to beat someone like Weili, but yep. And Pereira got that finish. Wow. It's El Bodie. It's already yours, champ. Congratulations. Incredibly happy for you and your team. Such a condescending tweet. Oh, the most depressing cage side reaction. Okay, I'm gonna start going down all the people they're showing. Holly Holm. I don't even know who that is. Leon Edwards. Brandon Moreno. Aljamain. Kamaru Usman is like... Kamaru Usman. And I think that's Justin Gaethje next to me. Yeah, Justin Gaethje's like, he does, but he's not someone that gets super emotional in his face. Dude, he's stone cold. Oh man, that dude just faced down. This is crazy ending. And also a lot of pure MMA people are watching, and you're like, damn it. They, like, How does this dude just come through with 4 fights, especially these dudes? All these dudes worked so hard. All the people in here, all of them worked so hard in their career to get to their championship fight. Actually, all of them. Every single person in here with the shot face, they fought so many times to get to their, except for Holly. Holly was another one of those Ascension ones because Ronda, but that division also is different. Booger Beard is a great follow for MMA fans. Booger Beard is hilarious. Jesus Christ, Adesanya grappler, Jesus Christ. Oh, man. Dude, the best MMA. This is the best MMA Twitter online, dude. He's hilarious. I literally had people sending me tweets that he was putting up. Either way, this would be scrutinized. Definitely not talking about this fight. It was 6 hours ago. Let me fight this guy. Dude, Khamzat's a problem for Alex. I think Alex could finish him, though. I think Alex's power is a problem for anyone he fights. But Khamzat, that wrestling and that aggression, bro. I think if Khamzat fights him earlier in his career, he might do better than if he fights him later. For a lot of reasons, but mainly because Khamzat Chimaev is stupid aggressive. He still thinks that he's going to light the world up and destroy everything. And his wrestling. And Alex Pereira's takedown defense isn't there yet, obviously. Like, I'm not saying it isn't there because it's not like he got taken down a ton of times. It was 1 of 4. However, if Adesanya got the takedown and like that, and then he wasn't able to be held down, Khamzat's going to eat him for lunch if he gets him down on the ground. He's 6'4", Khamzat. How big is Khamzat? How big are you, Khamzat? Just look at that picture. He just looks so menacing. How tall is Khamzat? Okay. What? Okay, it's not saying it. Let's just do this. 6'2". He's not that much shorter. I think Khamzat will get him down. I think Khamzat gets him down too. These Russians coming through the UFC are destroying everything. Everything. It's funny because Alexander almost looks like he's Russian, but he's not. He's Australian. What? The double? Oh yeah, that's true. She'd be Pena again, duh. Okay. But yeah, dude. This fight was wild. Everyone's reacting to it. All the people that don't like him are dancing on his grave. Let's see what's trending. Why is that? What the? Okay. Everyone. Okay, no, let's just go latest. People are going to be shitting on Izzy now because of this. Okay, I don't know what any of that says.
Oh my goodness! He did it again! He did it again!
Did you put up 3 fingers?
Again! He did it again! Oh my God! He did it again!
I could not tell. Oh, this guy's terrible. This guy's terrible. Look at that. He just put up 3 fingers. He's like, I beat him 3 times. The 2 kickboxing and the 1 MMA. He knew immediately. He kept talking about in the lead up to this last week. Oh, he's like, I'm not thinking about the other fights. It's not about the other fights. Bitch, what are you talking about? Yeah, it is. Look at you. Terrible.
Goodness.
He's terrible.
He did it again. He did it again.
He's like 3.
Wow.
Glover said he was going to win.
Final round. He did it the last time in the 3rd round. He did it again. Every time he hit Adesanya was uncomfortable.
It's the way he fought. It's the way he closes distance on Adesanya and the way Adesanya fights. When it's not necessarily like Wonder Boy, but it's similar to Wonder Boy. It's Wonder Boy at a higher level, but it's the same problem. It's the same thing that happens when Wonder Boy gets clipped, gets KO'd, gets finished. When he got finished against Pettis and Woodley, if you can somehow close the distance and connect with him. And if you hit hard, you're going to see the effect on them, on Izzy and Wonderboy. Every time Pereira hit Izzy, Izzy's entire face just shook to the side because Pereira hits like a monster. The guy that beat both of them literally said that Pereira hits different. I'm going to see if I can find that. Where is it? It should be only man to beat Adesanya and Pereira. TMZ.
Yes, it's an interesting fight, man. They two both great fighters, man, and the win.
It is a different sport being in there, though.
I can say from my experience, of course, that Alex Pereira, it's harder, man. His punches are on normal, man.
Who is the tougher challenge?
And remember, these are kickboxers. These kickboxers hit different. Kickboxers and boxers, when it comes to pure punching power, I do think like a Deontay Wilder is going to hit harder than like 95, 99% of fighters. I do think Francis is a guy who hits harder. I'm not going to lie. I think Francis has a thicker punch than Deontay Wilder. But these kickboxers, think about Alistair Overeem, Badahari. When you see these people hit, Verhoeven, when they hit people, it's different. The heavyweight kickboxers hit so hard.
Challenge for you.
So when he says abnormal,
for me,
his name is Jason Willis.
It's hard to say, but I think right now it's Pereira, man.
He's 2-1 against
Pereira. I fought him. He was, you know, he was so strong. You know, he really, you can see.
And he looks like an ox. They were talking about his weight. They said he weighed in at 220 pounds, Pereira. Izzy said he doesn't cut very much to get to 185. There's no way Izzy's more than... But Izzy looked a little bit thicker. He's probably like 195 max. There's no way he's thicker than that. There's no way he's any bigger than that. Pereira is 20 pounds, 25 pounds heavier.
He put in work in the last years. So, yeah, he was too strong, too quick. So I think Pereira gives me bigger problem right now.
You are following in their path also now in the MMA world. Is that the ideal scenario? Do you want to see both of these guys down the line?
The thing is, if these kickboxers can make it to MMA and they can avoid getting taken down, they're going to be a problem. But the reverse to them is the Khabib, Islam, Russian type people coming through. They're literally, the people from Dagestan and stuff are destroying the UFC. They're cracking into these lower weight classes. Like, you could just look at the names. These guys are cracking in. And they're slaughtering people. That's just what it is. They're incredible fighters. But, yeah, guys, that was Izzy versus Pereira. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think below or, like, in the chat something. But, what do you guys think is next for Izzy? What do you think is next for Pereira? Do you think Robert Whittaker gets the fight? Do you think Israel gets the fight? Comment below. Definitely let me know what your thoughts are. We are doing a giveaway for $100 at 1,000 subscribers. The way I select the giveaway is you have to be subscribed. I have to be able to see that you're subscribed to the channel. You have to like the video, and you have to comment on as many videos as you can. Same thing with the likes. I'm going to pick you randomly. I have a generator where I can see all the information. I'm going to pick you randomly, and I will give you the $100, and I'm going to tell you how I confirm you when I send you a message. Even if you don't see the message, you'll be confirmed for about 24 hours after the 24-hour period. I might increase to 48 hours depending. Probably 48 hours. After 48 hours, then I'm sorry. We out here. We out here. But, yeah, let me know what you guys think about this below. We have a lot of videos coming. A lot of videos coming. I have a lot of things planned. I have a lot of things ready. Let me know how you guys feel, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.